all the way to the beginning of time, who had the wealth? Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So, right here to my left, I am presenting you a 1922 peace dollar. Generally, I tend to have a handful of these, especially always the year 1922. Following World War I, many nations were eager to adopt a symbol of peace. Designer Anthony de Franciscis, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, his depiction of liberty as a youthful flapper, as they would say in those days, with wind-blown hair and wearing a spiked crown proved to be a pleasing departure from the past. The look was distinctly modern, and even to this day, it is modern. I wouldn't necessarily say this side, but right here, it's like, yeah, this is very, modern is the best way to put it. And then you go, of course, to the eagle on the reverse with the word peace, and it's bold. You know, the word peace is very, very bold, stylish, and these are forever captured in 90% silver, really proving the optimism of the Roaring '20s. You know, it was a really, really good time, and people were very optimistic. And shortly after that, of course, came a drastic crash. These are surely needed by every collector hoping to complete a collection of these distinct pieces. This 1922 silver dollar is very affordable and attractive. I'm currently seeing these as low as $35 with free shipping. So not bad. I would say it's pretty excellent right now. Real quick, folks, before I continue, I want to give a quick shout out. And this is to one of my loyal subscribers who we haven't heard from in some time, but they're back. Sarge27271. And there's a comment from earlier today. Never believe goober numbers. The real stats always come out in the following month's revisions. Bad people, for the majority, are willfully stupid and apathetic. The good book does say, and he is quoting the Bible right here, "My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I also reject you as my priests, because you have ignored the law of your God. I also will ignore your children." Hosea 4:6. The passage pretty much sums up the present zeitgeist. Stay safe. Cheers. Wow. Very, very strong passage, especially the end. You know, I also will ignore your children. So right now we're getting all the advice, all the alpha. It's literally at our fingertips to get the best information to progress us toward the future. If only you didn't waste so much time on TikTok and Facebook nonsense and Instagram nonsense and X nonsense. It's like, no, all the information is there for the taking, but nobody's taking advantage. I want to say 1% of the population is, maybe a little bit more than that, barely. But 95% of people, they're completely lost. It bothers me how I see so many kids on their cell phones nowadays. Just people in general. Rather than having quality time, everybody is on their device. You see all these kids on iPhones, iPads, but none of them are climbing trees like we used to when we were children, before cell phones, before the internet. Why is this happening now? Well, it's very simple. We're living in the fourth industrial revolution. That's why. Cell phones, solar panels, high-tech military equipment, they all require silver. Regardless, the price of silver is still inexcusably low. This is the time to stack up as much as you can, because it's not going to stay this cheap. The inflation we are currently facing is leading us toward instability. And that's probably an understatement. Start thinking like Rich Dad. Securing wealth is through precious metals. Wealth that has outlived 2 world wars, hyperinflation, a Great Depression, and every single pandemic. And you better believe gold and silver will outlive this next world war. All the way to the beginning of time, who had the wealth? kings and queens, pharaohs, emperors. To this day, the wealthiest people, the wealthiest central banks, they hold and stack gold and silver. The elites are printing paper, but this is what they're stacking on. They're printing paper and they're stacking this because they know gold and silver, it's not an investment, but wealth. So few people are ever successful in investing because they like to wait until it's validated by price. The key is to buy when the price is low, and the price of silver, as I said, is inexcusably low. Silver is depleting by nature. In a green and digital world, solar panels, battery-powered cars, iPhones, iPads, flat-screen TVs, just about anything that conducts electricity has silver in it. We're going into this futuristic world that's going to require silver on a grand scale. And what's going to happen once it's not circulating like it had before? In the last 4 years, the U.S. has printed more money than in the history of the country before it. Why would you save endlessly printed money if our debt is rocketing? With Americans more financially broke, financially illiterate, and financially stressed, what is to become of the destiny of our nation? What is to become of the generations ahead of us? Will America as we know it still exist? Death spirals have always played a role in the downfall of history's most significant and prosperous empires. America is heading in that exact direction. However, America still has an established social standing along with a diverse economy which allows you to purchase precious metals. Right now, we still have the opportunity and leverage to take advantage. But you got to do it now. Not next week, not tomorrow. You got to do it yesterday. So yes, right here, very attractive. This is a 2021 Krugerrand, first introduced in 2017 as a premium coin to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the gold Krugerrand. The silver Krugerrand is now offered as a brilliant uncirculated coin and has become popular with investors and collectors alike. The silver Krugerrand has the same design as the gold Krugerrand, but does have a face value, unlike the gold, of course. So the design is actually the same as it was when the coin was introduced in 1967. It features the South African Republic's president, and yes, you got Paul Kruger. And then you go to the reverse, and that's the springbok, which is the national animal, and the date of minting. The springbok seems to be jumping into action. You know, literally it is. It's striding. And then you got President Kruger as a reminder of 19th century South African political and military affairs. Very, very attractive. I feel like it's a underrated coin, and I recommend anybody who's serious in this game definitely be stacking both of these coins. These are just solid buys. They're not going to break the bank. Very, very affordable. And yeah, I mean, you can just always find them everywhere. Everybody's always trying to trade for them. That's the beauty about them as well. Very desirable. Affordable and desirable if you want to resell. And then, folks, yes. Remember, on the, when was it? Like on Tuesday. I want to say, yeah, Tuesday, this book was finally officially released. You can go to my description. Again, it is my third novel, and I would say my best novel by far. It is a sports epic. It is a sports thriller, but it is such a fun story, entertaining story. I do want to let you know, though, it does have strong language, so I would not recommend it for children. But as an adult, you will really, really love it. If you love sports, if you love films like Goodfellas, it has elements of Goodfellas in it, but it also has elements of Moneyball, of The Natural. So very, very fun read. Go to my description. I have 3 other books. My first book was a dark comedy. That's actually based on a true story, a personal friend of mine. And then I wrote a crime thriller based on true events. And then I have this bad boy. It is fictitious, but I wrote it as if it was true. So just a fun read, guys. Really appreciate it. This is my passion, just as silver is my passion. You know, precious metals in general. but particularly silver because it's much more affordable and attainable than gold is. But thank you so much, guys, for joining me for another evening of Silver Dad Knows. God bless you. God bless your household. And as always, God bless America.